MRR.
Well, what a sight this is. A beautiful evening and the promise of a match that will really get the juices flowing.
Let's go.
I'm Peter Drury, and joining me here, our expert, Jim Beglin.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Drury, and hello to everyone.
Just listen to that noise. This place is definitely up for it. Let's hope we get a contest worthy of the setting. So things are underway. Well, 2025 was, of course, the year the Parisians finally realised their dream of becoming European champions. So many times in the past they tried and failed by expensively recruiting the fanciest names in the game. But then they showed faith in one Ousmane Dembele.
Yeah, and I think you can say the team was built around him, Peter. Another thing they did was to play him centrally in a false nine role, sometimes even as a striker, and that led to a massive upturn in goal involvement. This is a player we always knew that it was in him. Once his fitness returned, he's never looked back.
He has found the way through. Now he's got space here. That is a brilliant interception.
Dembele clearly held on to it far too long there. Did he do enough to find someone? He looked as if he had his mind set on trying to do everything his way.
Foot in. Van Dijk cuts out the pass.
Holland.
It has been a rather gentle affair so far. He's a sharp little ball here. Shifted it to the flank. Hernandez. What a throw in. Barcola. Great vision. And the assistant referee has his flag raised for offside. Bumps him off it and wins back the ball. Dembele. Now he applies the finish. And collective relief etched on the faces of the defenders.
Modern football for you. You get zero time to think on the ball. Take too long, and that happens. It gets pinched.
Via Oranger.
Now it's Dembele.
Oh, really well played.
Camavinga. Played out wide. Now it's Barcola. Oh, that pass isn't the best. Davids. The Netherlands still without a single shot on target. Griezmann. Now, can they get him away? Some excellent tackling here, and that one a perfect example. And it's Thuram. That has ended up in no man's land. No, that's rather hopeful. That is a super hit, but it was always just off target.
Well, the keeper looks perplexed. That was hit with real ferocity.
Now it's Gakpo. Frimpong. Plays it in low. There's the shot! Goal, the Netherlands! And he's only too grateful to capitalise on the keeper's misfortune.
And that's great movement from him. He instinctively knew that the ball was going to come back out and put himself where he needed to be. The sort of thing you just can't teach.
So we have the first goal.
Well, this will present the manager with a few interesting options, Peter. Try sitting on this or push on with the opposition now forced to come out.
Hernandez. Played out towards the right wing.
You can never be short of runners into space, as long as the space left behind is filled.
France with their first corner, the first in the game for either side, actually. Finds himself unceremoniously floored. The ball is loose and the chase is on. Ake gets over and intercepts.
The Netherlands really should be happy to let this half run out now and go again second.
He's going to be disappointed with that. Well seen, saw that coming.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Van Basten, good driving run. Shot a goal! Well taken goal. Again, in a trice, and they are soaring. It was a great finish. He put it away with great poise, dead-eye accuracy.
That's expertly finished, and he's done that so often.
So that's two now without reply.
Yeah, and you have to say that the contrast of moods are very visible now. They really fancy
Van
themselves
Basten.
to go and wrap things up.
Knocks it out wide. Ake. He's cut it out.
2 added minutes has been indicated.
Looking to play him in. And the through ball. Frimpong. Now Davids. Looking for options for movement. Oh no, that was never going to make it. And that is the end of the first half.
Well, I don't think most of us were expecting a second, Peter. It's become pretty much the ideal half.
That certainly seems to be the case.
And that ought to encourage an even more ambitious approach in this second half, Peter, with control already established.
The Netherlands looking composed, content, comfortable, leading 2-0 at half-time.
Substitution for Netherlands, number 20, Gakpo.
So off we go again.
Coming on to replace him is number 22, Javi
Ake. Davids. Well, that looks a decent ball. Van der Ven makes the interception. But it is clear to see that he is not at all happy with that.
Well, that's down to a simple miscalculation. No more, no less.
Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. Van Basten is herring after that one. And it's Frimpong. He's shifting through the gears here.
Is that the first time we've seen them try that? It's definitely given the opposition a little more to think about.
And this is Van Basten. Can he get it through? The Netherlands do look as though they've made a half-time change here.
Well, we're certainly going to see a change in personnel. We'll see if the system changes with it.
Looks to the other side. Could be danger here. Kluivert has created one goal already. Now it's Kluivert. That's a good ball out wide. Kluivert. Can he get on the end of this? A slightly better ball would have led to a very different outcome there.
Well, everything up to the final pass looked decent. They just couldn't pick out that killer ball.
Van der Sar claims comfortably. Oh, good spread. The Netherlands perhaps contemplating their next change here. Just a talking to, I think. Yes, it is. Frimpong receives it in a wide position. Nice interception, well timed. Barcola. Can he latch on to this? Oh, well played. That has snuffed out the danger. And it's Dembele. Looking to pass their way up the pitch. Kluivert. Van Dijk. And it's Ake. Oh, nicely intercepted. It's a promising position. Griezmann. Oh, facing up to his adversary. This is a formidable matchup. Camavinga. Barcola. De Ligt did just about enough to come out on top. Real chance! Oh, it's fallen loose again! And it's in! Back within one! They have them in their sights again! Some heroic goalkeeping, but even that couldn't save them this time.
Well, Peter, I know from experience there are players who always seem to know where the ball's going to end up. This isn't about luck at all, despite what people say. Just keep an eye on his movement.
Blue.
So now we're going to get those changes we have been expecting. France cut their deficit and look raring to go again.
Well, we have a very different game on our hands now, all of a sudden. This one's totally up for grabs. The Netherlands clearly have been instructed to kill this off. Offence is the best form of defence.
Oh, well played, well played. Forwards and with intent. And it's Dembele. Quinton Timber. Oh, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking. Oh, good-looking ball. That is good alertness.
Well, he certainly wasn't in the mood to take any risks.
Robbie. Davids. Koundé kept his eye on it, and he's there. Benzema. Camavinga. Aimed beyond the defence. Van der Sar with the clearance. Ake given the lift of his goal. That has not gone well.
Substitutions taking place.
Knocks it into space. Not too much more here than seeing out time, and time is very nearly seen out. Oh, that's really good play on the right. He's driving forward. Tries to play it through. Well, that's been cut out. Well played. Not much time now for anything fresh to happen, I think.
2 added minutes has been indicated.
Nkunku. Camavinga threads one in. 2 minutes to be added on. Mbappe! Oh, he's goal shot. Surely! Oh, what's he giving here? He's given a penalty. And that is a huge moment in the context of the game. This then to draw level.
Soft pen.
Not a twitch, not a blink.
A picture of confidence. That was never missing.
The goal scorer for France, number 10, Ousmane Dembélé.
So all... And there goes the final whistle. A good watch, a really good watch. Both sides toiling to try and outthink, outsmart each other. But it wasn't to be, and they're all square. How would you sum up what we've witnessed, Jim?
The Netherlands can always take more positives from a result like this. Yes, there is some tidying up to do, but some real promise too.
MRR. Via Oranger. Van Basen. Le Bleu. Soft Pen.
Well, this is just joyous. The perfect backdrop
Hello,
as
everybody,
both sides
and
look to
welcome
clear
to
the first
today's
hurdle.
match.
Supporters here in terrific numbers. So will they be going back happy at the end of 90 minutes? Well, it looks like a big game, sounds like a big game. Everyone involved is absolutely up for it. If you have just joined, you have just missed the kickoff. Well, here's a man who stunned everyone in that famous summer of 2002. He had a hand in his country's most famous goal, their most famous win, and he helped to introduce the footballing planet to Senegal.
Yeah, he did indeed, Peter. El Hadj Diouf, the undoubted driving force behind that fast, powerful, direct style of football that once shocked the world.
And here's Berbatov. Rodri. Now it's Isak. Now it's Ødegaard. Ødegaard stood his ground strongly. Now it's Ødegaard. That's a good ball out wide. Alexander-Arnold has it in a wide position. Patience, the overwhelming virtue in this game so far. Well seen, saw that coming.
That's great positioning, so good from him.
Robertson. Rice. Now it's Berbatov.
And he could have done himself a massive favour by just lifting his head up there. You know, it would have been a better picture of what was going on around him.
And here's Berbatov. Bergkamp.
Well, both teams are proceeding with caution, but there's plenty of time to wait for some attacking purpose.
And it's Berbatov. Berbatov. He's found a way past. Well, that's an excellent interception. Rodri. Saliba makes the interception. Looking for a runner. That's good vision.
Chelsea really are one of these sides that pride themselves on their ability to maintain possession.
Yeah, and some would say that means they play the game the right way.
Yeah, but of course, it's decisive passes that's going to matter in the longer term. There's no good in holding on to the ball just for the sake of it.
De Bruyne. Shin to shin, bicep to bicep, and he wins out. Rice. Berbatov. And it's De Bruyne. And he stands tall, impenetrable. Alexander-Arnold. Great ball if he can get there. And Cherki. McAllister. Pass somewhat off target. De Bruyne. And it's Palmer. Some good work on the right flank here. 30 minutes gone. He's had a fair tumble under that challenge. McAllister concedes a free kick for that. The pass has gone astray. It's out of play for a goal kick. And that's it. So thank you very much, Jim, for joining me. That brings us to the end of our coverage.